Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Poto Pro. A Poto Pro? Let me get my words right. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Photo Pro with your friendly neighborhood host. It's me, Carty. I help photographers like you during these shows transition to the life of a working pro. This particular show is so important because I help emerging and struggling photographers with their work. I give them a very specific assignment. And these photographers go out and actually shoot that assignment, and I act just like an art director, like a photo editor. I critique it like a photo editor or an art director would. I give you pointers, actionable steps to actually level up your work. And then the next week I give another assignment and another one and another one. Even if you're not submitting, you could literally follow this at home like you were watching a game show. You could literally follow this at home like you're like, hey, you want to be a photographer, you're too nervous to submit. Pick one photographer and just watch them progress over the course of 6 weeks. Just watch one photographer that's submitting over and over and over again. Watch them get better over the course of 6 weeks. And then it's like choose your horse. You know what I mean? For me, I don't play any favorites. I help everybody equally. I think that everybody has an equal chance at success as far as being a professional photographer. But you got to use the steps. There's like 6 specific phases that you have to go through. And this specific podcast, we are talking about your work in your market. And the photo reviews help you with your work and your market. Today's assignment was super simple. And by the way, if you want to participate in these photo reviews, all you need to do is go to this link. Go to the photo Carty method, YouTube submissions, that right there. That's just like kind of, oh my God, I do so many things during the day. Like you have really no idea how many things I do during the day. So go there. You can hit this join link and put in information, pay your $10 and I'll review your photos. And what it does is it unlocks this incredible community. And I have this amazing community pop in, and it unlocks this YouTube submission level where you're able to actually have other peers, other people from the community review your photos. You can post your Instagrams. You can post raw photos. Every once in a while, I do raw episodes where I process raw photos. You can have your website reviewed, which I also do website reviews. And we have all kinds of assignment inspiration. And if you go to the top here, you'll see the assignments. These are only available for people who are in my YouTube submission level. You see, I have an archive of 4 assignments, because that's how long I've been doing it this way. I've been doing it for 4 weeks now. And this week's assignment is horizontal artificial light. And I give a very tight brief. Make a photo within your niche for your portfolio. It must be shot this week. It must be artificial light as the main source. Must be shot horizontal. Don't make a picture. Don't take a picture. Make a picture. Don't drop your subject dead center. This is a double page spread assignment. Artificial light is an essential skill. If you've never used artificial light, this is the week that you sort it. Learning how to light will triple your income and your perceived value as a pro. Take this seriously. And then I give you the pixels that I want it submitted and the DPI. And I actually include an example of one of my own photos of Jared from Kill Tony. And then the thing that's great is you say that you're going to do it. And then after you've done it, you get to mark it complete. This is the picture that I submitted for my inspiration. So that is the assignment. It's literally the assignment. So let's look at your offers. So Kyle, let's look at oldest to newest. So yes, so another thing that I think is fair is the first people who submit, I want to look at those photos first. I think it's only fair for me to look at the first people who submit first. So I'm not actually looking at the last person first and the first person last. I don't think that's fair. It's quite warm in here today. I have to open that office door. Okay, so let's look at our first photographer. His name is Kyle Gagnier. He says a juxtaposition between delicate and rough. Lighting. Strobe with a softbox with an additional scrim on the left side with a reflector on the right. Sony A7 IV. Sony 70-200. 2.8. GM. Grandmaster. And shot at 70 millimeter at 2/50th of a second at f14 at ISO 100. This is Kyle Gagne. Kyle, thank you for submitting. Let's see Kyle's picture, big and bold. Whoa. Kyle, this is really nice. I mean, you took this so far, my guy. You took it really far. Really good framing. Let's look at this as a double page spread. You can see as a double page, you're really conscious of the gutter. So that gets really additional points. Small things that I want you to watch. I want you to watch down here that it doesn't get too close to the edge. Watch here that it doesn't get too close to the edge. The space that you have here between your product is perfect, and the spacing between the gutter and you have here is actually perfect. I love the hits of color and how the hits of color actually match, number one, my magenta branding, but number two, really match this label, and just how you hit the side light. This is really great. That side light seeing the softbox down the bottle, and just how that side light pushes the reflection light that's going through the liquid down here. This is a win for me. This is 100% a win for me, Kyle. This is really good. Really good. A very, very much a well executed, I will call this an absolute portfolio picture. One thing that you can do to just make it just a little bit stronger is just watch your spacing. And again, it's like the set with this, I understand the flowers were to contrast this rock, but I would love to see this shot with something else that's not the flowers, and even possibly just the rocks alone, because it's such a deep background. The flowers could be looked upon as distracting. But again, it's such an 11. It's just, I want you to also, I would be interested in seeing this again without the flowers, and or maybe a single flower is another option. I hope that brings you value. That was Kyle G. Welcome. If you're just watching me, by the way, I'm Carty. I've been a photographer for 33 years professionally. I've been doing this professionally the whole time. Never had to take another job. Not another job ever. So, this is Jermaine Dean. Jermaine Dean. I had, okay, so Jermaine says, the vision here is product photography, focuses on the glasses, shades, Sony A7R3, 70-200, shot at 105, ISO 50, 2/50th of a second, 2.8, shot with a strobe light with beauty dish. Let's have a look at Jermaine Dean. Jermaine, thanks for submitting. Shooting strobe outside. Shooting strobe outside is a thing. And there's a lot of photographers that really, really do it well. How I think that you can make this shot even better. Number one, the exposure here is under. I'm going to call this under by about 1/3 of a stop. So make sure that you have a meter. Make sure that you have a light meter when you're shooting this. You can see that his beard is actually blending into the shadow underneath. When you look at this close, you can see his beard here and the texture and detail on his beard. And the skin tone here is just a little bit low enough that we're losing shadow detail. The next thing is, if you're actually lighting outside with strobe, the idea is for it to look like you're lighting outside with strobe, which means the exposure back here in the background has to be less than the exposure here in the foreground. So I'm going to show you an example of a photographer who does this all the time. I'm not a fan of this dude, but whatever. Okay, so let me see who would be a good example. I'll find another one. I'll find another photographer that I actually am a fan of. So this is what outdoor strobe looks like when it's done at a point where your strobe overpowers the background. Now this, you can see in her eyes, you can see the strobe. You also see how the background is darker than the foreground. I'm going to show you another one where he's using outdoor strobe. Let's look at, what will be the best way? Portraits. I imagine it's going to be here in portraits. I imagine it's going to be here in portraits. So far I'm seeing a lot of not strobe outside. There we go. Here's strobe outside again. A little bit of kick on him to make him a little bit brighter in a place that's super contrasty. Here's another strobe outside. The background almost looks like a set because the background's exposed darker than he is. So the one thing you have to be watching is always making sure that your background exposure doesn't overpower or it doesn't balance. Yo, Starlight with the super chat. Let's go, super chatting. Starlight, thank you for the $10. Starlight LLC, thank you for the $10. I appreciate the super chat. And here's one last example of outdoor strobe. This, in fact, was likely done in a studio, and then he was close cropped and put on the Great Wall. Here is another example of outdoor strobe. Like, you have the ability of making the background look like a set when you're shooting outdoor strobe. So go further. Make sure that your metering is super clean. As far as your framing is really, it's well done, but I want you to notice how he's very biased here, and there's quite a distance here to the center. So make sure you frame properly. We have a question from Starlight with that super chat. All those faces, he said, look blown out. Is that a stylistic choice? I got to tell you, exposure. Question. Exposure is something that, no, these faces aren't blown out. Like this face right here. This is, I would say, not blown out. That's a gross exaggeration. This is overexposed by like 0.2 of a stop. That 0.2 of a stop actually makes this model, who is, what's her name? I forget her. Sharon Stone. There you go. It makes Sharon Stone look like she has perfect skin. And she doesn't. She's a little bit older. But what it does is it makes her look young, and it cleans up underneath the eyes, underneath the face. And when you look at another woman and you see this and you're like, oh, that's a little bit hot as well. But if you look at the year at 2014, this is very much what stuff looked like back then. It was very much a little bit hot. If you look at closer to what contemporary work looks like right now, this is a perfect exposure. Perfect. Even if it might appear to you like it's lighter. The thing is, I think sadly too many photographers read dark and their images are underexposed. I see underexposure constantly. This is perfect exposure. Perfect. I mean, this is a absolute mega pro. It's Michael Muller. So, yeah, make sure that you actually learn what perfect exposure actually is. All right, we are going to go dark for 1 second. Hang on. All right, sorry, we're back. By the way, thank you again, Starlight, for the super chat. All right, so let me make sure all my overlays are on. Yeah, they are. Okay, my bad. Apologize for that. We're doing this live, people. All right, so back to our review here. Very close, small things with the framing, small things with the exposure, but I think overall this is a great frame. Really great on the color composition, really great, like clean skin, nice eyeglasses. Secret time, if the glasses are the picture, it has to be way closer. It has to be like way closer if you're featuring the glasses as the thing that you're trying to sell. Although I see it is definitely part of the picture, this is more of a portrait of him, and he's wearing those glasses. It's not an ad for the glasses. If you look at eyewear ads, they're very, very close up. Like they have to be, because that's what we're trying to show. You know what I mean? And if you look at a pair of like super expensive sunglasses like these ones or the ones that I wear, the details that you see when you're close up, that's what makes them expensive. I hope that brought you value. All right. Let's look at another. We're going to ramp this up. By the way, my double page example that I sent in because I just wanted to share. This is another one of my examples. It's not sized properly, but I just threw it in there. It was lit with car lights. This is a model. I shot this 10 years ago. Didn't bring lights, ran out of light. One of my ideas was shooting from transitioning from day to light and also lighting her with ambient top-down street lights and things like that. So this one frame, one of my favorites from the session, and yes, she's naked under there. All right, let's get into another. This is Thomas Wallace. Got to experiment a bit with props. Nikon Z7 Nikkor 50mm 2.5 ISO 1250 at an 80th of a second. 2 small LED color lights. Let's look at. This is Thomas Wallace. Thomas, your sizing has to be. Let me just make sure here. No, never mind. That was me. All right, Thomas, let's have a look at your photo. Thomas, thanks for submitting. This is Thomas Wallace. Really cool concept, Thomas. I really like the idea. This gas mask, having this guy holding the smoke. It's a very, very cool idea. Let's look at it as a double page spread. For me, when you look at this as a double page spread, this is when this picture falls apart. You are composing this on the thirds, meaning you have your grid on in camera and it gives you thirds, and there's a line across this third, and there's a line across this third, and there's a line across this third, and there's a line across this third. And that's exactly where you dropped your subject, which is exactly not how we compose double page spreads. Because we're not composing in thirds, we're composing for a magazine. And in a magazine, I've said this and I say this every episode. I say this every episode. It's you, I assure you, Will Lee. Please turn up your volume. The way that this goes is you have to be dividing your frame in half and seeing each half of your page, each half of your frame as one vertical page in the magazine. So when you look at my overlay, you can see that this hand drops right on the gutter. This pipe drops on the gutter. the smoke drops on the gutter and his face is too close to the inner gutter, which when the magazine opens up, this goes in like this. So it's not composed properly. And I can't get past that. Even if it's a cool idea, it's a cool photo, you're not following the brief. And if you look at the brief, I say, please do not drop your subjects dead center. And no, this is not dead center, but when you see it as a double page spread, you can see how you composed on the thirds, which means, I don't know if you haven't watched any of my other episodes or heard me rip a new asshole to everybody else who shoots like this. There's no place for this to go in a magazine. So please, fix this idea for composition. It's super simple. You punch in, you move it over. So now it fits there. And now this is your double page spread. But again, because his hand is so close, because you're not thinking about 2 pages, because his hand is so close, you can't, you have his hand over here. So his hand is on the second half, and you frame it like I'm framing myself here. Just like that. So your eye goes through both pages, and there's lots of room here for the text to go, and the other person lives on that page. I hope that helps you. I mean, again, it's a great idea. The light is cool. You have to go further. You have to really go further. I hope that helps you. I would really love to see this re-executed because it's such a great idea, but you lost it in the composition. In fact, this is almost a vertical picture. Just work on that. All right. So next. That was Thomas Wallace. This is Garin Rath. Had a blast making this photo. Key light on camera left through a snoot. About 5 meters away for the hard shadows. There's a diffused fill next to camera right on the shadow side of the chocolate. This is Garin Rath with big swings for the fences. Garin is listening. You're listening to me, my guy, clearly. It's like I'm in your ear. It seems like every single time that you make a frame, and I appreciate that. Look at the detail here. This hard light is amazing. Really nice, infinite depth of field. So we have everything from this hand to this hard shadow to the crumbs on the table. And the solid color block is just so beautiful. The light is beautiful. This is under. I'm going to call this under by... We're going to call it 2/10 of a stop. So if your slider is this, and this is the plus direction, and this is the negative direction, move this frame this way 20% or 0.2. That is going to make this just a little bit more snappy. It's going to make your chocolate feel a little bit more brown. On my monitor, yes, I see that it's brown, but we just need a little bit more exposure so we get just a touch more detail in the shadow. But for me, Garin, this is a win. This is an 11, absolutely. Congratulations. This is fantastic. Fantastic. That is an artificial light horizontal photograph within your niche. Beautiful. That's exactly what I asked for. Thank you. Perfectly done. Perfectly done. By the way, I have a Pro Accelerator, and that Pro Accelerator, basically the whole goal with it is to help you go through the 6 phases that are necessary for you to go from your 9 to 5 to the life of a working pro. It goes like this: your work and a market for that work, the packaging, the value business, the systems, then outward reach and putting it all together. So I teach people how to master these 6 systems. It's called the Carty method. I have 3 coaches. I have 3 coaches myself. As you can see, I also give control of my stream to the members who watch me. Apparently right now they're going a little ham. Slow down there on the warps. Mike, thank you. Slow down. So basically what I'm trying to explain here is the small little progressions that are happening in my Pro Accelerator. Like I have somebody in my master class who just shot his first magazine cover. He just shot his first double page spread, and he learned how to do a double page spread here by me giving these incredibly tight briefs. He learned how to shoot a magazine cover by submitting photos and me reviewing his photos and helping him tune. And now he's getting another job from the same magazine. So this guy went from being on the outside to being on the inside, already shooting photos for magazines just from photo reviews, and now graduating into my accelerator. This is the one they call Alpha Monk. That's Robert Wilson Jr. Let's go, Rob Wilson. Congratulations on your cover, my guy. All right, let's get into the next photographer. That was Garin Arath. This is Stevie Gaimon. Stevie Gaimon says, I completed the assignment without any camera, lens, settings, lighting, or any of the sort. Stevie, do what other people are doing. This is what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do. Look around in the community. Look around in the other submissions. See what other people are doing. Do that. Super simple. It's called intelligent imitation. So if you see someone else submitting, they're mentioning camera, settings, lenses, you read the assignment and it says, give me your camera, lens, settings. Give me your camera, lens, settings. It shows that you know how to follow instructions. If you can't follow instructions, you can't be an assignment photographer. No one's going to pay you if you can't follow simple instructions when it comes to making these photos. Cool? All right. This is Stevie Gaimont. Welcome to the show, Stevie. Thanks for submitting. So, artificial light, double page spread. Let's look at the framing. If framing, you're getting a check for the framing, for sure. Your framing is quite perfect. As far as lighting, exposure, this is where we kind of fall apart, sadly. Your exposure is under. And the reason that your exposure is under because I probably light meter, which you're going to hear me say probably 1,000 times today. How many people think that they can shoot artificial light without the most important thing in the bucket, which is your light meter? Because this black hair, which happens to be dreads, eats light, and it eats light. And without having some sort of a separation from a rear light that's rimming him, that's coming from behind, you're not going to get any separation from his black hair and the black background. So like I see it, like it's there, but it's so slight. Like you really have to squint. And in fact, when I really go in close, I can actually see that you darkened all of this stuff behind him because I can see haloing. So that means that you didn't shoot it in such a way to get D-Max, like pure black in the background. Garan Wrath with the super chat giving me, I'm going to say 99.99 Rand, my guy. Thank you. And it said how much the equivalent was when it popped up there, but you're giving me your hard-earned money, Garan. Thank you. That was his last photo I just reviewed. Appreciate you. So, Stevie, what we have to watch here now is what you're doing technically in the background that's making this background black. You need to learn how to light so the background is black when you shoot it. And as you've seen with the picture that I posted as my assignment, as my assignment photo, the photos that I submitted up here, this initial photo, it's a jet black background. That's jet black in camera, and that came out jet black with no manipulation. So you need to learn how to do that. The next thing I'm seeing is if I look down here, I'm actually seeing a whole area where you missed doing that darkening of the background. I'm seeing a whole area right there that you missed. So I don't know what that is. And like when someone zooms in on your photos, the work is not allowed to fall apart. It's not allowed to. We're professionals. In here, which is a huge part of his face, we're losing detail. We're losing detail in here into his neck. So although I definitely get the mood of the photo, I get the vibe, I get what you're trying to say, technically the execution has to be way better. And then you're doing some sort of a clarity texture sort of slider in Lightroom that's making this all hazy, or you're using your haze slider. And this type of processing, when you look at Behance, you just don't see it because it's not a thing. It's not a thing that we do. It's trickery. You know what I mean? It's called saving something in post rather than shooting it technically perfect the first time. So you see me show a lot of technically perfect work. Like that's what I'm trying to highlight. And if you find yourself fixing, like literally doing surgery on your photography, darkening backgrounds, fixing backgrounds, cutting out it means you're doing something wrong. It's super simple. So that's what I'm trying to help you fix. I'm a genius with this stuff. I'm going to see it. If you're doing that stuff on the back end, I'm gonna see it just like I saw, and I'm gonna find mistakes just like I saw. And I'm just another photographer. I'm not even an art director. I'm not even a photo editor. I'm not even somebody who has the ability to hire you. So I'm telling you, the people who have the ability to hire you and pay you top rate for your work see all of this stuff. See all of it. So if you don't learn how to see it in your own work, which again, you're already in level 2, which is executing ideas. You've passed level 1, Stevie, which is great. You're now in level 2, which is executing ideas. Amazing. But this is where your technical understanding, your technical mastery, you have to really gas pedal reps. So, and also that technical mastery and those reps are wasted if you're not looking at the right references. If you're not looking at the right references, the right photographers that are doing phenomenal work, then you think that your work is phenomenal. And that's the problem where most photographers fail, is in ego, which is, again, it's brave to submit your work, but this is just a photo that came out of your camera. It's not you. It's not like your life, your values. It's just, there you go. Like, people hold on to like a photo like it's a kid. Oh my God, he doesn't like this photo. Oh my God. It's like, who cares? It's just a picture. Literally, get better. Make a better photo. That's it. It's what we do. It's rinse and repeat. And in fact, our photos serve one purpose only. One purpose. The photos we make serve one purpose. That is to get more people to ask us to make more photos. It's the only reason. So if you execute ideas, then the only reason that you're doing that is to get other people to hire you to execute their ideas. So all the work that you make are just examples. Your best example of what you could potentially do for somebody else. That's it. So if you think about your photography as examples, well, if it's something that comes out of your camera and it's a bad example, like, kill that thing, because it's confusing people when you mix it in with all of your good examples. One bad example, literally, you love going to this club. You go there every Friday night. It's the best. Woohoo! Guess what? One Friday night, somebody came in and gadded up the place. Guess what? You don't like going to that club anymore, right? Because something like, whoa, a bad apple wrecked that experience for you, right? So imagine if you still keep going to that club, you have that vibe in your head like, I'm not really sure about this place anymore. That's what happens every time you allow a bad photograph that is a bad example. Might not be a bad photo, just a bad example. You could do a better example. It's a bad example of your work. Every time you let a bad example of your work go out there into the world, it's like somebody shooting up the club for your business. It creates doubt. It creates like, oh my God, I thought that photographer was sick, but now not really sure. It creates doubt. So all I'm trying to do is help you curate your examples so you have better examples. Your portfolio is never finished. As soon as you have a better example, that was my best example before. Goodbye. I have a better example now. People hold on to their photographs like, it's my best. It's like, it's just an example. Literally. You have a better example now. You're going to hold on to a bad example. That's literally like holding on to a weak idea strongly. Holding on to a weak idea strongly. What we need to do is hold on to strong ideas weakly. Like this, loose. Because if another strong idea comes, it'll blow that one away, and now I can hold on to that one. Now I have a better strong idea or a better example, which I hold on to weakly, like this, until a better idea comes along, which I will replace this one with a better one. Simple. This is how we evolve. This is how we become incredible photographers, is like we don't have emotional attachment to bad work. And I'm not saying that your work is bad, Stevie, not at all. I'm just speaking generally. Because in fact, Stevie, your work is amazing and you have incredible potential. And I want you to remember that your potential is not finished. It is just like you just have it. Like a diamond in the rough is not finished. A diamond in the rough, it's like I've found a precious stone. That's your talent. Cool. What do you do with it? Do you just keep it? I found this precious stone, or do you meticulously polish it into like a priceless diamond over your lifetime? That's what specializing is. It's like I shoot people. I've been meticulously polishing that diamond for 40 years, because I started shooting people when I was 14. Knew I wanted to shoot models when I was 17. Got my first studio when I was 20. So for 34 years, I've been polishing that diamond like how I deliver examples of people. What if I didn't let go of other examples or bad ones? I'd show 9,000 photos? Come on. Guys, I hope that brought you value. This is Stevie Gamo. Thank you for submitting, Stevie. You got mad talent. Let's just work on the post and let's work on the technical stuff, because it's small things that's going to take this rough gemstone into a polished, beautiful diamond. Please let me help you, dude. Join my accelerator. Come on. All right. That is Stevie Gaimon. This is Sebastian Kawaka. He recently bought a speed light. So he connected this speed light with my strobe to make this photo. So at her front, we have a 600 watt second strobe at a 64th power. At the rear, a speed light at an 1/8 of the power. Wanted to create an aura around her with a pitch black shadow in the middle. The idea for your light is light that you do for a man. Just FYI, I'm seeing the picture, but just the idea usually is something that's a little bit more dramatic, but I want to see what you did, Sebastian. Let's have a look at Sebastian. Oops, Sebastian Kawaka. Here we go, Sebastian. Thanks for submitting. So, like, I think you really did well, but the problem is that you're hitting your light from, number one, you're hitting your light directly that way and directly that way. And what you're doing is actually missing this whole part of her head. So you're hitting her shoulder and her shoulder. You're missing this highlight of her hair, which is literally, she has blonde hair, and there's so little light up here that we're actually losing all the detail here. It's just gone. So If this was a hair campaign, you would never light it like this. If this was a beauty campaign, you would never light it like this. If this was a high fashion model, you'd never light it like this. If she was wearing a product on her head that you need to, like, so the way that you lit this, it's creating mystery, but it's not giving us anything. I can't buy the sports bra because I don't see it. I can't buy the shorts because I don't see it. And I just see her, but her eyes are closed, so I don't understand what the idea is. Like, I don't see, like, with our last picture with Stevie, like, it was a guy, so the mood, because it was a guy, it kind of matched. He had dreads, blah, blah, blah. He's got his arms crossed. He's looking down. He's wearing clothes, and she was shooting it in front of a place we could see the clothing from the front. Although the exposure was a little bit off, like, at least I could see the product a little bit. For this, I don't see the bra, and the bra's not really a product. And now, because it's a bra and it's from the back, and I'm seeing the bra clasps, I'm saying, where's her shirt? Why isn't she wearing a shirt? Because this is an unfinished look. You would never shoot this, ever. Like, the back of the bra, this is something we just don't see. You don't even see it in bra advertising. You see the front of the bra, and we don't see the shorts, and we don't see her hair. So there's nothing, and her eyes are closed. We have no eye contact. There's no connection. So there's so many different things, Sebastian, that are just like, and the light is just not the light that we would use for a female. Like, this is light for a guy. So you've heard me say so many times, light females from the front, light women from the front. Every time you look at a fashion cover, if you just Google fashion covers and look at how women are lit, 90% of the time, you're going to see a woman lit from the front. Rarely, like, you're always going to see a woman lit from the front. Like, only sometimes will you see a woman who's lit this way. Like, and they have to have incredible skin. Now, let me show you examples of how guys are lit. Guys are always lit with drama. He's lit natural light from the side. And look what happens when you light a guy from the front. It's too pretty. It looks too, like, I hate to say, soft. It looks soft. So what we do is we light men, like, with a little bit more drama. So now when you try to light a woman with drama, you can only go so far. And you can see in this picture, we're shooting an outfit. You can also see women are usually shot from the front, maybe 3/4, maybe side profile. But if you're not following these rules when it comes to using artificial light, when you're just doing what you think looks cool, then it's like, I understand, Sebastian, we're practicing. But what ends up happening is it's like you're thinking about the lighting without thinking about the picture. Like, what's the picture? The picture is this. Okay, well, what's she wearing? Well, she's wearing no bra. Well, why is she wearing no bra? You know what I mean? Like, it starts to be like, you start actually crafting the idea. Well, she needs to be wearing a shirt, or if she's wearing no bra, needs to be no shirt, needs to be the right bra. And then we need to shoot it from the front. And if we're shooting her from the front, then we need to have her standing from the front. If she's standing from the front, you can't light her from the side this way and from the side this way, because it makes her eyes all hollow. It's not flattering for females, and you don't see the product. So it starts to be like a process of elimination. I think you set your mind how the light was going to be, and then you put her in it. That's what happened. You said, this is how the light's going to be, and then you put her in it. So how you fix this shot, Sebastian, is if this is a person's head, you don't light them this way. You light them, this is a person's head, you light them this way. You light them down, not that way. You light them that way. And you also offset up here, have a reflector or light. If you're going to use this light, which is pointing here, you sky the stand and have it aim here. And when you look at your frame, if you're losing detail, that's telling you where light has to go. I hope that helps you, Sebastian. That is Sebastian Kawaka. Artificial light, man. It's like intelligent imitation is how you get there. Honestly, intelligent imitation is how you get there. And when you're really thinking about the work, when you're really thinking about like, what could I do that would actually bend brains? It starts from references. It starts from like, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? Is what I'm looking at like inspiring ideas? Am I looking at something that I could imitate? If you're just on your own, the odds of you failing are so high. It's such a greater odd if you're like, let me find an amazing shot that looks like my wife-ish and let me try to imitate that shot and put my own spin on it. You're gonna have a way higher success rate. I hope that helps, Sebastian. All right, this is Dana McKenzie. This assignment was an important one for my development. This is the second time shooting a portrait session with strobe, but now I'm stoked with the possibilities that they bring. Shot with a Nikon D10, 50mm ISO 100 f7.1, 125 using a 60-watt strobe. Dana McKenzie used this photo correctly and used light. I'm going to critique the light, but this is what you're talking about when it comes to mixing daylight with studio strobe and making the background look like a set. This is exactly what I just said. This guy is making the background look like a set. But you're also lighting a beautiful woman like a man. Exactly what I just said, Dana, to the other person. You were lighting sideways, which what that does with your beautiful wife is every accent of like
yes, sir, yes.
This shadow, that line, the fact that her eye is being shadowed on the inside of her eyeball. You can see here, her eyeball's a globe. So if this is a circle and you light it that way, there's going to be a shadow line and this is going to be lit and this is not going to be lit. And that's what's happening with her eye. And then she doesn't have a big nose. But what you did is you lit her sideways and put this massive nose shadow over her other half of her face. And because you're lighting this way and not this way, this nose shadow, because light travels in straight lines, I can see the nose shadow is going that way and that. If you lit from this way, this nose shadow comes this way and actually joins this shadow and becomes Rembrandt lighting. But guess what? You don't light females from the side. Simple. You just don't do it because there's too many, like, even if they have a perfectly unflawed face, light them from the side. Now you've just brought flaws that don't even exist. Seriously, like light them from the front. The position is the light is above you and behind you. So you're like this, the light's up here. Watch my legendary hacks that pros use in studio. Watch that video. You'll see that photo that like, you'll see this photo that I used as an example a couple of other assignments ago. Like light women flat from the front. The thing that's great with front lighting, someone can turn their face sideways. They can turn their face sideways that way. The light doesn't change. As soon as you light someone from the side, as you can see here, the lighting from the side, you see this right here, that groove. Watch, as soon as I start turning, you see how those shadows on my face? Look at my eye holes. Look at my eye holes. Look at this, how clean this is. Now that like I'm getting front lit, right? I'm being front lit. So you can see when I'm like this, my chin's up, front light, right? Watch this. This is at 1 o'clock. This light's at 1 o'clock. And you can see this is still relatively, but I'm a guy. So I want to have a little bit of shadow on this side of my face, right? Watch as soon as I turn, watch this groove. As soon as I turn, you see how this groove starts to become more predominant. Look at the bags under my eyes, how they become more predominant. Every wrinkle on my face, look how my eyeball starts to shadow my own eyeball. When I'm like this, it's not happening. As soon as I turn like this, look, my eyeball is shadowing my own eye. Look at so you just don't light women from the side. It's just not flattering. This is side light. You see this. And when we look at this photo of your wife, that's what we're doing. So that, I know it's only your second time lighting with strobe, but other than your light placement, Dana, this is such a fantastic photo. Like, it's composed perfectly. The background, it's interesting. The one thing I want you to watch is headspace. There's definitely too much headspace, and you're cutting her arms off down here. I'd rather see her hands. Girls' hands are interesting. So I'd rather see her hands than see all of this extra, which you're leaving as if it's a cover. But this isn't a cover. This is a double page spread. So you don't leave that space here when it's not a cover, because we have room here for the text to go. So fill that space, bring her shoulders up to here, bring her head up to here, and now give me the rest of her hands. Other than that, my guy, just small things. I want you to shoot this again, really, because I think this is a fantastic, fantastic photo. Fantastic. Keep going. It's reps, right? It's just reps. And when you add artificial light, it's just one more thing you have to think of. Just one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. Like, I can juggle 3 balls, no problem. One goes up, you catch it with this hand, but you have a ball in this hand already. So before this one comes down, you throw the ball that's in this hand like this. And then that one you catch with this one. As soon as now it's free, because it just had a ball, but you went like that. And you can actually, just doing that rhythm, you can always keep like one ball in the air and be juggling. It's like, I taught myself how to do it. It's the same thing when it comes to photography. And as you start adding artificial light, adding reflectors, adding other, it just keeps adding other balls that you have to just keep juggling. And if one thing is off, you have to know that that one thing collapses your whole thing. So we're juggling, we're surfing. I hope that brought you value. All right. That was Dana McKenzie. Let's see who's next. This is Randolph Grubbs. Randolph L. Grubbs, also known as G is him. Randolph, let's look at your 1DX, shot with the 28mm, shot at 100th of a second, f/16 at ISO 100. I'm getting like real noise in the background here. Hang on. Somebody is mowing their lawn, and it's getting out of control right now. All right, Randolph, let's look at this amazing photo from you. Randolph, thanks for submitting. Make sure you watch your sizing. This picture is a little bit small. Just want to make sure I go like this. I open in a new tab. Yes, this picture is too small. Make sure that it is 4,000 pixels. Again, I'm very specific, and I've said before, like, I don't want to review photos if you're not following the exact specs. 4,000 pixels by 100 DPI. This is not 4,000 pixels. This is just whatever default your camera processed to. Make sure you adjust that for me, please. Please, because it's incredibly frustrating. I can't click this picture. I can't make it bigger. I can't see if it's in focus. I can't do any of the things that I need to do in order to review this photo. So this is why when I give a brief, imagine I'm an art director and I need to print this photo. It needs to go in a magazine, and I give very specific specs in order to be able to print it. And then you just give it to me however you want to give it to me. And then I can't print it. And then I have to email you back and start like, I need that file. And then it takes a week for you to get back to it. Like, now you're never going to work for my magazine again, ever. Because I gave you the exact specs and you didn't follow it. So, which means the photo review's got to be shorter because I can't zoom. I can't see the focus. I can say that it's a beautiful photo. She's got a beautiful face. It fits into a double page spread. She's lovely. I love this. It's a little underexposed. So a meter, again, you'll hear me say this a lot. A light meter is super critical. Her face here is under by about 1/3 of a stop. We're also, because it's a focused light and there's no points of light in the background to hold our attention. There's no points of light other than this one point of light. So you have just a tree line with just a void. So this whole void is because the place that you chose to shoot her and take this photo, it's not the right spot. Take her to a busy street where there's lots of street lights and car lights and interesting points that will give you dimension behind her if you're shooting at night. It can't be a forest because there's no catch lights back there. There's nothing to catch your interest. Like if you're going to shoot at night, it's got to be the right spot. There's no water. There's no reflection of the sky. It's just a void. So what ends up being is half a photo. So be better with choosing the spots. You see this one catch light, find a spot that's got 100 of those. Now you have catch lights all through the back of the photo. You have cars that are like trail, like just make it so it's a little bit more interesting than just her. And also, again, I know this is your daughter. She's amazing. We need to get her past like doing the school pose for the photo and getting into something like more about her. More about like she's posing for you, and so you're just telling her to sit like she's doing a school picture. You know what I mean? Which means you have to find open Teen Vogue. Have you ever opened Teen Vogue before? Buy Teen Vogue. Costs $5. Buy Teen Vogue. Look through Teen Vogue. Find references of pictures that look literally just like your daughter. And then now go out with her and imitate, show her the poses, show her the enthusiasm, and then you imitate the locations, the light, and how it's being shot. And then my last question. G is him. What is your fascination with shooting at night? Like, I swear, you've never submitted photos during the day. It's you dressed up in army stuff in the woods at night. It's your daughter at night. Like, shoot inside on location. Like I think shooting at night is an essential skill. Okay. But you're going to be hired to shoot during the day. You're going to be hired to shoot in the studio. If you have studio strobes, if you have studio things to light, learn how to light in real life scenarios. I promise you, it's not going to be go to the forest with your lights and shoot a portrait of this person. That is not going to be your assignment. So the sooner that you start doing reps in a restaurant, at a small business, in an office, on the street, as soon as you start doing that and getting away from let's go into the woods and shoot photos, you're going to have a more diverse and more like rounded portfolio. I'm getting a little tired of seeing photos at night. Okay, please show me something else. Show me that you can do something else. I hope that brings you value. $4,000 pixels wide, please. All right. This is Michael Steimatz. R8 7200 f4. Shot at an eighth of a second at. Hey. Cool Kip, welcome. Thanks for becoming a member. Look at you. Let's go. Oh, Mike Steimatz. Mike, you gifting memberships there, guy? Are you gifting? Hey, Mikey. Me likey. Thank you so much. I appreciate you gifting 5. Oh, yeah, you know what I said that I was going to do? You know, because Mike's being so generous. How about this? How about I see your 5 gifted and I raise you I raise you 5 gifted. How about that? How about that? I see you're 5 gifted and I raise you 5 gifted. How about that? All right, guys, we're doing a little membership train. Let's go. I just gifted a whole bunch of memberships. Mikey's just gifted a whole bunch of memberships. Let's go. Mike, I'm very happy with you today. This guy, Mike, I promise you, I'm going to turn you into a destroyer. Let's look at this as a double page spread, Mikey. This, you're actually starting to put this together. Mike and I are building a business for him, and it's Nikki Lynn. There you go, Nikki. And it really is like, it's this, like this. Like I couldn't describe this any better, Mike. This is yes, absolutely yes. And like, how do you create a portfolio for like industrial, like tools and parts and pipe fitting and like, Mike is figuring it out. And Mike, I'm so proud of you, dude. This is like, yes. And you starting to get clients and starting to talk to some owners, and like, this is starting to happen for you, my guy. I'm very, 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 very proud of you, Mike. This is an absolute banger. Let's go. Congratulations. That is an 11. If I wasn't clear, it's an 11. You having a good time still? You two, my favorites. You two, are you guys having a good time? I know you've been here since like the dawn of time. You're getting senile, I'm sure. Oh, my word. My word, my word, the big bird. Mike Steinmetz. Congratulations, Mike. Great, great, great photo. Great shit. By the way, guys, I have new merch. I nuked 2 merch stores in order to make one good one. And I'm quite proud of myself because I have the cartymethodshop.com now as a domain, and the Carty Method Shop, you'll also see probably like right there, like on this side, you'll see my products. If you're watching me not full screen, it's pretty cool. So yeah, this is the Carty Method Shop. I'm releasing my products in collections. I'm so happy that I finally have a patch. You understand how long I've wanted to be able to do patches? I finally have like a black mug, which I wanted. And I also finally have an embroidered hoodie. I really want to, and I just ordered this. I'm so thrilled to have an embroidered hoodie, super high quality embroidered hoodie. I'm going to be dropping a new collection every month, and I also have the ability to do giveaways. So that all makes me happy. I'm going to be choosing some members to start giving away some stuff. Special thanks to Amin, who was the first one who actually copped some Carty Crew merch from the Creative Collection. And also, because I only wear white or black t-shirts pretty much, I might actually even do some white, like heavy duty blocky tees like I do, you know, thinking about it. I really do love designing merch. Like I get quite a great pleasure from it. I can't lie. That was Mike Steinmetz. Mike, thanks for submitting. This is Colin Blair from Arresting Photos. So I wanted to use plexiglass. Amin becoming a member. Let's go, Amin. Welcome back. Thank you for re-upping. Amin. So Colin says, good evening, you illustrators of illumination. Shot this bottle of whiskey with 2 lights and a reflector. Wanted to use plexiglass to have a bit of the reflection on the bottle on the surface. Nikon D5600, 50mm 1.8, shot at f14 at a 1/60th of a second at ISO 100. This is Colin Blair, who is all about creating those arresting photos. Colin, thank you for submitting. The plexi was a nice touch. I really like the glass, the double underneath. Your detail is really, really good. In fact, so good that we can actually see how poorly this label was printed. But the photograph is really great. Let's look at this as a double. Yeah, your framing is spot on. Like, I want you to see this kind of discipline. Look at this discipline here. Look at this discipline here. This up here. Colin, you're preaching right now, my guy. This is a win for me. This is 100% win. Let's look at where this goes in the magazine and how they're like, wow, 4 roses, the best small batch select Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey you've ever seen. Like, they have a place here to be talking about that product. There's plenty of space for the gutter. This is advertising 101. This is product photography 101. This is composition for a double page spread. Colin gave a clinic. Colin, congratulations. This is an absolute banger. Clinic. Beautiful light. Beautiful, beautiful light. Like, more is all I'm going to ask from you. Beautiful light, bro. Beautiful. All I'm going to say from you, Colin, is I want more. Like, you impress me weekly. Whenever you do submit, when you don't submit, I get pissed off, just FYI. But you're raising the bar, bro. You are. You really are. This is high. Like, I'm telling you, like, you know this is working, Colin. You know this is working, bro. And when you miss the mark, oh my God, I can just hear you. When you miss the mark, I'm sure you get so frustrated because it's like a small thing that you could have fixed, you know? This one, you hit all the marks, bro. My God. Good for you. That is Colin from Arresting Photos. All right. This is Romeo Fuji X-T3 ISO 200. 50 millimeter f9 shot at a 2/50th of a second. This is Romeo Fowler. Romeo pushing into new territory. Romeo, thanks for submitting. Romeo pushing into new territory and like simplifying the elements. Really simplifying the elements. I'm really proud of you here, Romeo. This is great. I mean, obviously small things as far as like how high up the mirrors go. Like, I would love if this, I mean, it's really hard because you parked this bike on a step. So how close can she park her bike to this step without worrying that the bike's going to fall over? So I do know why this bike is parked there. And also, like, just her head height versus the bike, it's relatively balanced. What it means now is, like, do you raise yourself up to make it so you see more of that, the little mirror on the bike? Do you lower yourself in order to cut that whole part? Like, there's so many different things, but I think that you picked the right solution. I think that you chose cutting that off is okay. I think it's okay. You have great spacing here, great spacing here, great spacing down here with the hands. Let's look at the double. Like, the wheel clips just a bit. This tire clips just a bit. You definitely had space here to drop the gutter, and you could have moved like the frame over just a touch, just to not make that wheel a little bit claustrophobic. We are losing a little bit of detail in the tire, and it's a black fender that comes in here, and then the black tire. A little bit of rear light back here starts to give us that separation. Again, this is things that, like, the more experienced you get with multiple lights, the easier that this will be. But as far as your effort, Romeo, this is a win for me. I'm going to give you an 11. I know your work. I know how hard you try. The light on the skin is really nice. Like, you gave a little bit of shape, but you didn't go too far. You left the light in a place where it was still really flattering. So for me, this is a win. Like this, and your exposure, chef's kiss. So very good for you, Romeo. I'm very proud of you, my guy. That is Romeo Fowler. And Romeo, if you didn't know, That's an 11. FYI. Congratulations. That's Romeo Fowler, everybody. If you're playing along at home, and you've been watching, or if you want to play a fun game, go back to like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, watch Romeo Fowler and watch his submissions and watch his progress. Romeo's in my accelerator, like seeing this guy shift from taking pictures to making pictures. It happened right before my very eyes. And everybody who's watching at home, I'm sure it happened right before your very eyes as well. Congratulations, Romeo. I'm proud of you. This is Nicholas Freddy. This is my assignment. First time using a strobe. It took a while. Canon R6 Mark II 50mm 1.8 5.6 2/50th of a second at 100 ISO. Please keep in mind when you're shooting with strobes, your camera has a flash sync speed, meaning when you're using flash on camera or off, you don't get to just set your shutter speed at whatever. You set your shutter speed at a set speed, and it needs to be slower than your sync speed because your shutter opens like this. It opens like a slit. Once you're over your flash sync speed, the shutter is closing before it's all the way open. By the time you're at an 8,000th of a second, your shutter is just a slit that exposes from top to bottom. That's how they're able to maintain an 8,000th of a second. It's just a slit that goes from the top of the frame to the bottom of the frame. So when you're shooting with strobe, you need to make sure that you're shooting at your camera flash sync speed or slower. If not, you're going to get a black line through your photo. Make sure you're fixing that. All right, this is Nicholas Freddy. Shot on an R6 Mark II 50mm 1.8. Shot at 5.6 at 2/50th of a second, ISO 100. Shot with an Elechrome 5 with a silver umbrella. Favorite lighting system? Elechrome. This is Nicholas Freddy. Nicholas Freddy, thank you for submitting. Let's look at this as a double. Really good discipline. Really good discipline as a double page spread. Truly. You could afford to move her back just a touch. Like, we got quite good space here. We could afford, just because of where this part of her face is, a little close to this gutter, we could afford to move like just a touch back, but it's not necessary. Still, really, really great discipline on the focus. Where her eyes are looking, I feel like I wouldn't mind her looking just a little lower. For me, her eyes are looking a little high. Because again, I would have her looking here because this is where the text would be about her. Because this is an editorial about her. This is a photo about her. So rather than her looking out of frame, I would have her looking here. It then tracks where her nose is looking, and it leads our eye here to read this block of text, which relates back to this person. The tattoos are great. Showing her from the back and showing the tattoos from the back are great, which also gives us these ear details and that piercing, these piercings here, the birthmark. I think this is a really great shot, Freddie. Like, honestly, small things. And by the way, Nicholas said you can also call me Freddie. That's what my friends call me, so I'm calling you Freddie. I think this is a win for me. This is a win for me. I'm going to give it an 11. Just want you to watch your light. Your light is definitely coming from this way. There's a little bit of molding down here, which is great. We are losing a little bit of the back of her head here. Make sure you have a reflector back here just to kick in just a little bit and give you just a little bit more detail there, which will also give what I call polish. Just makes your photo feel like it's a little bit more polishy. Like, there's a reason that I have these two strip lights behind me. And if you catch it, every once in a while, you see this little highlight that's on this side of my face here, or this little highlight. spots on this side of my face, like right here, that you catch every once in a while as I'm turning around. Like those lights are visual, but they also give like a bit of polish here on the side of my face. It's like intentional. All right. Oh yeah, by the way, if somebody buys something from my merch store while we're live, I think an alert goes and like it calls the cops, which is pretty dope. All right, next is, this is Marcus Mack. This is his sister McKenna, shot with the R3, Canon R3 50mm ISO 125, shot at 2.8 at a 60th of a second. This is Marcus Mack. All right, shooting his sister. Let's go, Marcus. Thanks for submitting. This is great. A great crop, bro. This is a great crop. I can't lie. This is a great crop. I like this photo a lot. And it's like a new crop that we can now try. I think that this is actually kind of dope. I like how you did a double page, hyper disciplined headshot, and you left plenty of room here for the article, but I also like how you let her hair go onto the other page, which actually creates interest. And where the gutter goes through her hair, we're not losing anything. And even if the picture ended there, we wouldn't be losing anything. This, for me, Marcus, is fantastic. This is, for me, the light, the execution, the front light, the sensibility, the pose, like the look on her face. She just looks pleased without any pretense or ego or anything like that. There's no pose. It's just right. And it's hella sharp. This is really one of your best. And say hi to your sister for me, because I know that she's watching this. This is an 11 for me, Marcus. Congratulations. Great job. Good shit. That makes me happy. Marcus is in my Pro Accelerator, and also Marcus is 21 years old. Just FYI. There's no excuses. No excuses. Joshua, my oldest daughter, single strobe at night, R6, 85mm, 5.6, 1/25th of a second. This is Joshua Haney. Joshua, thanks for submitting. Wow. I just say yes. And the hard thing is I haven't even put the double frame on it yet, and I just say yes. This feels so right. Like I can't say anything other than the fact that it feels so right. Framing wise, we can bring her over a touch, and we can bring her up a touch. If we look at her eye line and the space between the top here, her eye line is actually dropping quite on the mid of the frame, and we can increase her eye line way higher. I don't think her eye line needs to be that low. And also what it ends up doing is it cuts off her collar and takes away like the context of what outfit she's wearing. So if that's the case, if you are going to do that, you have to commit very much the way that Marcus Mack just committed, and you have to push her and get actually even closer. Like if you're going to do that, you got to go like this. Like and push the eye line up higher. When it's a double page spread, you don't have to be concerned about the masthead. And if you look at this, if I framed, let me just bring this in just a little bit more. Let me just show you this. Like, look at this framing with her now pushed up like that. That's basically the ideal framing that I would love to see. And you can do that with this picture without losing any quality. Just hold the same proportions, but this is the crop. And if you see how you shot it, you can see now that I've showed you that crop, how this feels low and how you're actually not using the space that you could be using over here. But Mr. Haney, this is a massively great photo. Like, and the focus the focus, like it's so sharp. The exposure, like I think it's important for me to tell you the things that you're doing like great. Like the exposure, oh, the head angle. Like there's so many like yes, and the only thing is just move her over and push her up. And it's something that you can do in post, no problem. Very proud of like this now like new jump when it comes to using artificial light. One thing that I'd like to see you try is artificial light outside during the day. The way that you choose skies, the way that you use like big, like I know your work, Joshua. You've been watching me for a long time. You've been submitting for a while. So I know your style. Imagine being able to control the exposure of the background. Imagine being able to control the exposure of the background. Like being able to push the exposure of the background down a little. So almost your backgrounds will look like a set. Just think of that. If you outdoor strobe light, your background will look like a set. So now that you know that, what backgrounds will you choose? Outdoor strobe allows you to choose, you're bringing your own sun. So it doesn't matter where the sun is, you're controlling the sun because outdoor strobe overpowers the sun. I might do a little outdoor strobe video to show you guys if I was shooting outdoor strobe, what I would do. I might do that, but I might have to buy one because I don't have the Vision 4 that I want. So anyways, I'll get that. Mr. Haney, great shot. I closed the wrong tab, so let me open the right one. Oh, no, I didn't close it. There we are. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. I can close that. All right. Sorry, guys. There's like too many windows, too many times, too much time. Got two of those open and close this one. This one. Yes. Okay. That was the one that they call Joshua Haney. This is Nina Gallegos. Nina says, I wanted to reshoot these papers, and I like the idea of showing clear papers in use. The packaging has a rainbow shine, but it doesn't show up unless you get the light just right. I use continuous light with a cover to soften, and then I used LEDs to pop it. So, okay, 45 millimeter lens, f9, one over, so basically a sixth of a second, I think, or 1.6 seconds. Shot at ISO 200. This is Nina Gallegos reshooting this picture for me. Nina, thanks for submitting. Nina. So you're saying that you did the blur in Photoshop. That's totally fine. Let's look at this as a double. So when I drop in this as a double page spread, and this is almost like, Nina, it's almost like you have to have this guide, this overlay. It's almost like you have to have this overlay in your head every time you shoot. When you shoot, you have to invisibly draw this in front of your frame, because anything that's too close to the center is getting cut off. So now we're seeing how the bum of this product, and this product is the thing that's the most important. Look at all the space you have here, Nina. Look at all this space, and look at how little space you have on your gutter. This works great for a billboard. It works great for a billboard, but clients don't hire you just for one purpose. They hire you to shoot something that they can repurpose to multiple different channels. And it being a double page spread and a billboard and the same image, that's kind of a common thing. So learning how to shoot something in a format that it can be multiply repurposed is what we're trying to do. You're framing on this side with this. Perfect. This is a little close for me up here. Look at your framing down here. You have all this space in the universe under this, no space up here on this one. All the space in the universe over here, no space here on the gutter. So, and if this is your main product, that's not centered between the two pages. So small things that you need to look at. When we look at this, it's like a great concept. It's a great idea. The only thing that makes it better is making it so you just clear a little bit more of a path, move this a little bit over, and end it right here. I think that would be how you take this to the next level. But I'm sure you have it already set up at your house still, and you're ready to just reshoot it because you left all of this out and ready to reshoot, right? I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's what we do when we shoot products, by the way. You shoot the product. It's right there. You send it to the client. You get feedback. And if it's like they want you to change something, change it, shoot it again, send it to the client. They want you to change something, shoot it again. And then you get approval. Once you get approval, then you start working. So yeah, it's like, I wish I could be there while you guys were shooting all of this stuff to be like, but yeah. All right. That was Nina Gallegos. Brandon Fenty. My son's been interested in space lately, so I wanted to incorporate his interest into this week's assignment. I saw this concept online. I decided to make it in my own way. It's called intelligent imitation, Brandon. Good for you. R5, 50mm 1.8, shot at 2.8, 80th of a second shutter speed, ISO 1600. This is Brandon Fenty. Let's go, Brandon. Glad you're a part of this. Thanks for submitting. It's a really clever idea. Really clever idea. Let's look at this as a double page. I definitely see what you're doing. Sadly, I feel like clipping his eye here is a bit of a no-no, because when this goes to print, we're gonna lose like quite a bit more of his eye just because they have to overprint in order for this to go to a magazine. The idea is amazing. His head in the fishbowl or whatever you're using is amazing, but I just need to see a little bit more of the rest of his face, a little bit more of his eyebrow. Bring his eye so his eye ends here and there's lots of space, and then you can see how much space you still have here. So just pull back, like just move back so you can literally just give us more room back here and still maintain this double page spread. You just have to move back. And if you can't move back, rotate that way and hit him more from the front, which is also going to hide a little bit what he's looking at. But again, it's the small things, Brandon. Like, this is so close. This is a 10 out of 10, but it was like so close to being an 11, which just means you just need to shoot it again. I just want to see more of his face. This is the money right here. I would love to see just a little bit more of it and just move him just a little bit more that way. I hope that helped you. That is Brandon Fenty. Great shot, Brandon. All right. Wow, they never end. There's so many more photos. Okay, this is Miss Jennifer. Body wash, shot with 2 strobes. One bounced from the ceiling at full power and one at 1/64th power lighting the background. Sony A7R3 50mm, ISO 100, 250 a second at f16. Thank you for your critique, Carty. I am learning so much. One love. This is Miss Jennifer. Miss Jennifer, thank you for submitting. Miss Jennifer, your work has got so much better. Oh my God. Oh my word. To Big Bird. You've gotten so much better. Good for you, Miss Jennifer. You can see that the level of work that you're doing, I still feel like this has been cropped just a little bit. So make sure that your proportions are matching. As you can see here, my framing doesn't lie. You are like a little bit off with your framing because everything else, the up down works, but don't free crop. Make sure you keep your thing exactly at the 2x3, or also known as original proportion. But your shot, Jennifer, is banging. I'm very happy with what you did here. I'm very happy with how now your work, like, look at the mist, look at the focus, look at the light, look at the discipline. Like, other than the fact that you're still shooting like bargain basement products that cost $5, like, you need to now spend this amount of effort shooting a product that it cost you $50 to buy. It cost you $100 to buy. Buy an amazing bottle of perfume. Open it. Photograph that, because it's a luxury item. Clients spend millions of dollars marketing perfume. Okay? They're not spending they are actually spending millions of dollars marketing body wash, but you're creating pictures of products that, like, I understand it's Old Spice. It's a known product, and it's necessary for you to know how to do this. But I'm going to tell you a secret. If you swap out the products that you're practicing on with luxury products, it's going to change your game. It's going to change. And it's like, well, how do I get those luxury products? Buy them on a credit card, shoot pictures of them, return it, get the money back on your credit card. Simple. Like, that's the path of least resistance. Before you do that, say, what's your return policy? They're like, oh, 100%. No questions asked, money back guarantee. Okay, cool. I'm going to buy this for my girlfriend. If she likes it, she keeps it. If she doesn't like it, I have to bring it back so I can buy her something else. Is that okay? And I get all my money back? They're like, yes. So then just buy it. Go, take it home, and then photograph that luxury good. Once now you're photographing luxury goods because you're buying them and returning, like, now you actually are getting pictures of things that people will spend thousands of dollars. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. If instead of shooting body wash and putting that much effort into shooting a $5 product, you put that much effort into shooting a $1,000 product. And then guess what that does for your brand, Miss Jennifer? Guess what that does for your brand, Miss Jennifer? Because look, it's the same freaking photography, but you're choosing something that's cheap, that you can afford to buy and not care about. So, or you're grabbing something from your bathroom and throwing it on set and shooting it, which is all it's doing is, like, great for submissions. You're following the rules, but in your portfolio, who gives a shit about fucking body wash? Shoot something that people desire. Shoot something that creates oh my God, I want that. Oh my God, I want that Old Spice Captain body wash. I want that. No, what you're doing is you're showing that you can execute a product. You're showing that. Cool. Now, on top of that, add desire, and now you have a business. I'm really getting tired of looking at boring products. So, Miss Jennifer, stop doing it. I've said so many times, find something sexy from the drugstore, a sexy lipstick, a cool product design, something that, like, the packaging is like, oh, that's so sick. Like, I could use this, I could do this with it. I could, like this is an 11 out of 10 photo on a 1 out of 10 product. And Miss Jennifer, This is the third time I've said this to you. The third time. Please stop doing this. Okay, this is next. This is Alan Layton. Alan is doing exactly what I'm telling you to do, Miss Jennifer. Alan, you're new. Thirsty Thursday, Canon 5DS, 100mm on a vintage macro lens, f22, 200th of a second, ISO 2000. Watch your ISO. Your ISO is too high. I'm going to say it again. Watch your ISO. Your ISO is too high. ISO 2000 is too high, even with your 5DS. I had that camera. It's too high still. Okay, let's look at our man. They call him Alan Layton. Alan, let's look at what you're doing. Alan, this feels like luxury. Although lighting, this is a little bit floaty. I'm not sure what's happening where your ground is. Like there's some posty that's happening where I have some reflections, but I don't have other reflections. Like there should be a base for this. I should see some sort of reflection. If I'm seeing a reflection here, it doesn't make sense. So visually, this doesn't make sense. It's partially floating, partially not. So whatever's happening under here, I need to see that reflection the same way that I'm seeing this reflection. It makes this feel like it's cut out. And also, I need context. I need a table. I need a cigar. I need something rather than what this looks like is very much cut out, like close cropped. And I know it's not, but what is happening down here is just confusing to my eye. I can't understand why there's a gap in this reflection and why this reflection doesn't go right from under the product. My eye can't reconcile that. So that means like you need to shoot in such a way that like visually it makes sense. And even if there is a reflection under here, if you're taking it away in post to make this all black, if you're doing that, like it's actually hurting, because what you're doing under there is actually hurting our perception, because it doesn't look real. And then the next thing, the light is great. I want to say that your top down light, what's happening over here, lighting down, great. But ISO 2000, please no, you shoot the lowest ISO allowed for the scene. I know that you wanted to shoot at f22, but if you shot at f16, you get now ISO 1000. Do you know the difference between f22 and f16 is letting in twice as much light? Twice as much light. It's the same as you going from ISO 2000 to 4000. That's how like the lighting, twice as much light. Going from f22 to f16 lets in twice as much light. Going from f16 to f11, guess what? Twice as much light again. Letting f11 to f8, guess what? Twice as much light again. There's no reason why you should ever be shooting ISO 2000 on this type of a photograph. Figure out what's going on with this floor, reconcile this please, and resubmit this to Just Chatting. I want to see more of what you can do. You can shoot photos. You have ideas. You have a sensibility. Now I want to see you do it at a higher level. And it comes from intelligent imitation. Go to Behance, look at wine, look at cognac, look at photographs that people who are shooting this, like that's what their bread and butter is. Look at ads, see what it looks like in ads, and create entire sets, not just floating drink and cocktail glass. Like, give me context, okay? I hope that brought you value. All right. Who's next? Mark Sawyer. This is my third submission. It's a lifestyle shot promoting 4th of July holiday here in the States. 3 strobes, red, yellow gel, shot Canon 5D Mark II, 50mm, 80th of a second, f18 at ISO 200. Okay, this is Mark Sawyer. Mark Sawyer, thanks for submitting. I appreciate you. So, I mean, definitely works as a double page spread, Mark. Like for sure, the light is great. It's definitely a little posy. But that's okay for me. It shows really good discipline. So I'm awarding points on all the things that you paid attention to. You paid attention to spacing. Your spacing here, here, and here is excellent. Your spacing here is excellent. You're very conscious of the gutter. You're spacing here with the foot in that placement, her bum in that placement, and her head placement, although you could bring her head back up to about here, is still all incredibly good. The styling, the shoe, the outfit. She's wearing American flag shoe. She's got Americana. She's got the Daisy Dukes, like the styling. Great. She's got the American sunglasses. For me, this is where we lose it a little bit. She doesn't need to be holding on to those sunglasses. To me, it's where we start to get to the place where it's called over-propping. This is over-propping. She's not wearing the sunglasses. It's nighttime. There's no need for these sunglasses in any universe, right? So unless she's wearing them, and then when she's wearing them, it takes away the eye contact. So why is she holding them? Well, I don't know why she's holding them. So then have her put them down, because you already have the Americana with the shoes and her outfit. This becomes overkill and a little bit extra. These tassels, this tassel waist thing, it's also showing down here on the underside of her leg, which now brings attention to her crotch, which is never something that you're trying to do. And also a leg up like this. If you're going to put a leg up like this, it always has to be the front leg. Because when you put the outside leg front, you are literally, what are you advertising here, my guy? When you put that leg front, it's now a crotch shot. So her standing on the cooler or putting her foot up on the cooler, now it kind of now starts to shift this like body language as far as like, well, if you want to have her leg up like that to show her shoe, well, have her put her other foot up. Do you know what I mean? So now she's showing a little bit more of her bum instead of her gitch. It just makes it less low frequency, bro. You know what I mean? I hope this helps you, but like understand, like when you're shooting people, body language, you have to master body language. And just FYI, I would never take a picture of a lady with their foot up on a box and shoot it like that. I just wouldn't. Like, that's just... So, yes, but also you're saying a lot with how you're posing these people. You're saying a lot with how you're posing them. So, like, you look at Vogue. Do you see women standing like that with short shorts on? Not really. They might be standing like that with wide pants, or like a masculine sort of a feeling where they're kind of showing like, and they're doing it in a stylized way. You know what I mean? Like, you have to master posing. And like, that's one thing for me with the, like the holding of the sunglasses and the holding of it ends up becoming kitschy. And kitschy is cheesy. It's another way of saying cheesy. And that's something that I need you to also, like, just turn the cheesy factor off. Just turn it off. How you do that is by opening Vogue. Open Italian Vogue. Look at that. Find a cheesy picture in there. You'll find zero. And then when it comes to you making photos, don't make cheesy ones. I hope that helps. Thank you for submitting. Anytime that you're posing a model that's not a model, it's cheesy. Rule of thumb. Anytime it's not a model, like legit, this isn't a model. It's your friend who's cute. It's not a model. Anytime you're posing a model, like someone who's like, it has to, the no pose is the pose. I want to keep saying that. The best pose is no pose, which means you style them in such a way that makes it look like they're not waiting for a photo to be taken. We don't do that. You know what I mean? I hope that helps you. All right. This is Mats Carlson. One light setup with continuous light. Mats wants to shoot environmental portraits. Got a chance to make a portrait of one of his sons, and he made this painting. R6 50 millimeter L series, 125 3.5 ISO 400. Shot with a nano light, with a softbox and a grid. This is Mats Carlson with his son, who is a painter. Let's go, Mats. This is yes for me. This is a yes, 100%. This is a yes. I mean, I really wish that the context here, like for me, I'm seeing dark, and it does bring like a great contrast to the very like white and light and skin tone and hair color and eyes. Like this contrast is actually quite interesting. Like it works. I just now want points of interest. Like I'm not sure what this is. It doesn't give me enough context to tell what this is. What it is actually outside. You went outside at night, lit your strobe, and there's no points of light anywhere out here to catch light. So you're just getting him. So this is just like a leaf. This is a leaf here. This is part of some structure over there. But for me, it's like, well, if this is the case, just take this out in post and just leave it like a black background to make it look like you shot it in the studio. You know what I mean? Because this to me isn't necessary. Or you need to shoot it in such a place where there's accents and some points of interest on this side of the frame, which complements what's happening on this side of the frame. If it doesn't complement, then it doesn't need to be there. So this part right here, I would just black all that out and just leave this as like a double page picture of your son, as if it was shot in the studio. As far as the light that's on his face, I'm feeling it. I think that the light on his face is good. Let's have a look at it closer. It's really sharp. It's good. Yeah, and it's a good pose. It's a no pose pose. The light is high, so it's pushing the shadow down rather than across his face that way. So you're lighting from the top. I can see how the top of his head and this side of his face is lit. This is really good. Mats, this is yes. This is a yes for me. I'm going to give it an 11. You're going to get the smoke from me and some applause. Congratulations. This is a wicked, wicked execution. Just watch the headspace again. Make sure this is acceptable. You see the elbow space here? I would put his head like somewhere around the same distance that you're doing with the elbow space. Small thing like that. And again, just looking at the double page framing, just the corner of the painting, I would just move that corner just over so it's not so close to this gutter here. Small things, Mats, but it's a great picture. Great job. Great job. Hit the like button, by the way. Hit the like button. Maybe subscribe if you like my insights and my smiling face. It's free to subscribe. You get notified when I do these live streams. You get notified when I put a video out, which I do when I'm not insanely busy. I'm always insanely busy. The podcast, I never slip on the podcast. Sometimes I slip with the videos just because, you know, they're short hit videos. I can only give so much information in like 5-10 minutes. This is why I prefer to do long form. This is Gary Rishi saying 3 on-camera video LED. So it's lighting. 3 on-camera video LEDs on a stand blackened out hotel room. Okay, I'm confused about the lighting, but I can figure out just by what you're saying here. So you're using 3 on-camera video LEDs on a stand. Okay, so the fact that there's 3 lights on a stand is the reason why I'm seeing 3 shadows. That checks out. That checks out. So that is unnecessary. Because I'm seeing this shadow, and this shadow. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 shadows. One of them is fine. And where you're shooting the hotel room, it's of no context. Obviously, this is like some sort of a dresser it's being shadowed and putting that in your photo because of where you're lighting. The placement of the light would give you the exact same light on the face, whether you're using 1, 2, or 3. The only thing that 3 lights is doing is giving you triple shadows, which is unnecessary. As far as her, we are a little soft. And that softness, I'm not sure. Let me just look at this, your stats again. You're shooting at f2 with a 50. F2. F2, I think, in this context, is too wide open because you're missing focus. If you're shooting f2 on a 1.8, that's only 1/3 of a stop click down from wide open. And you can see your focus point is so shallow, you actually missed it. And looking at her body, there's not a point where you actually caught the focus. So for me, that it makes this a miss, although compositionally, Gary, you're nailing the framing. The framing is yes, 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 yes. The triple light you're doing because the light's not bright enough. Get a brighter light. You're lighting people with video lights and you're shooting studio. You're doing photography, but you're lighting with video lights. And they're small video lights, which means you have to use 3 of them in order to get bright enough for exposure that you need. Fix that problem. Get a photography light, get a Godox from Amazon that costs $160. Instead of buying 3 $50 LED lights, buy one $150 light that actually you can put an umbrella, you can put grids, you can put soft boxes, you can put and you don't have to, it doesn't have to be all jerry-rigged like you're doing this. This is jerry-rigging. You're going to get jerry-rigging results. And there's only one sun. So anytime we see triple shadows, it doesn't register with the brain. It doesn't register with the brain when I see 3 lights coming from the same source, and it looks like it's like light. Like that's what it looks like. That's why it's kind of stacked. If you're gonna do this as an effect, like I get that, but make them 3 different color lights on 3 different gels, and it's like 3 different color shadows, and now there's like some depth to it. But for me, this was using 3 lights because 1 light wasn't bright enough. So I need you to fix that, Mike. Gary. I'm reading Mike's comment. I need you to fix that, and also fix the focus. That's coming because you're shooting at f2. You're shooting at f2 because the lights aren't bright enough. Like it's shit rolls down the hill. Get the right equipment. Get studio strobes. You can buy them from Amazon for less than $200. That's going to make it so you can get F11, 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 F11 at ISO 100. Or shoot F2 with the LEDs and 3 LEDs and get soft blurry out of focus pictures. You know what I mean? You're just wasting your model's time. So I don't want you to be doing that. Get the right equipment. Invest in yourself. Please, Gary. All right, this is Joseph Baldwin. Loving this week's assignment. Here's a shot that I created. My focus was about personal branding and headshots. Canon R 50mm 1.8, ISO 200, shot at 100th of a second, f8, ISO 200. Light source Godox MS300, shot with a softbox with grid. Very much like the same thing that I have here. This is the one they call Joseph Baldwin. Recently, I made a moderator, Carty Crew, Cartel. Let's go, Joseph. Congratulations. One of the accelerator members, Joseph. This is my expectations exactly. I love the fact that she's looking off to her future. Secret time. I'm going to tell you a secret. When your subject is looking off camera, it has to be into the picture, not off. Like you have her on this side of the frame, but where she's looking, she should be on this side of the frame. So she's looking over to this side of the page. If you put her on this side of the page, her eye line looks that way. And she turns, so she's looking inside here. You understand, this is a left page of a magazine and this is a right page of a magazine. You know, we look from left to right, and she's telling you to go back to the previous page. rather than telling you to read the article that exists right here. So this is when you're doing, I can't give you these like complete breakdowns when I'm giving you the assignment. I give you a very tight brief, but this photo is literally supposed to be like this, Joseph. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like this. Like this is where she is, and she's looking this way, and the double page spread exists like here, and oops, and she's on this side of the page, and she's looking into the other. You see how now that I'm showing you this, you're like, oh my God, you're totally right. So you did this backwards, Joseph. It's a great execution, but it's like, she's looking the wrong way. So I hope that you shot more than just this one frame. And another thing, secret time, eye contact, bro. Eye contact. Eye contact. Because if she's doing this for personal branding, she needs to be looking at you, at her customers, at her viewers, not off into the space and this is what I'm dreaming about in my worlds and all that bullshit. Like eye contact moves the like all I want to know is what is she smiling at? What is she looking at that I don't get to see? I don't get to see that. So you're creating questions, and those questions you're not able to answer with this photo, which creates frustration. It's up here, bro. Like there's psychological feelings that you create when you shoot pictures of people. Like literally just by framing something, it creates psychological things for you. Like on my channel, I'm always centered. I have to be centered because do you understand how this feels? If I did the whole episode like this, you understand you would go absolutely mental. You'd go mental. Like if I just sat here and guess I'm on the thirds, right? I'm composed on the third, right? Like, but no. Video needs to be incredibly linear. And like, especially if you're doing talking head, like the kind of stuff that so center focus, like dead center focus. And then when I switch cameras, I'm now too close this way because I have a camera here. So I move in close for emphasis, but it doesn't work with this camera when I'm on this camera. So I have to pull back now and like adjust myself in the center and be more back and relaxed when I'm in this. And if I need to like, so it's all about framing because like, look how I'm in the center here. And when I switch camera, I'm actually in the center here. And even my head space, the fact that there's more head space here than there is on this shot, it's a problem. I got to fix that because these small things like our mind registers on them and you have to be all up on that, Joseph. Small thing, my guy, but I hope that helps you. This is an 11 out of 10. It's fantastic. It's just backwards. You just biased her on the wrong side. That's all. All right. I hope that brought you value. All right. Who's next? Next is Anna Kaya. This week's submission is a portrait of an alien admiring a daisy flower from my garden. I used bounce strobe off the wall, one constant light source, and a silver reflector. Nikon D780, 50 millimeter, 100th of a second, ISO 125, f5.6. This is Anna Kaya. Anna, thank you for submitting. This is a great idea, Anna. I love when you reach and swing for the fences like this. It's composed very perfectly. Really good discipline with your framing. Is the face a little close to the center? A little bit, but again, you had to bias this hand back here, which I understand. This little bit of closeness doesn't make me too crazy. I like the fact that you have a solo element that the hand brings us through. Yo, OG nerd, thanks for subscribing to the channel, my guy. I appreciate you. Anna, this is good for me. I like this. I feel like there's a little bit of headspace that you could be utilizing this headspace up here for sure. You can see how this is falling almost to center through the center of the frame. I'd like it to be like up here, like the end of that head here. Move this flower a little bit up here, you know, and then give me a little bit more of the body down here. It's a small thing, Anna, but still, this is a win for me. I like this. And again, you're just getting stronger with your ideas and your lighting. And your writing. Please write more, Anna. Like, I keep telling you, your writing is so good. You got to write more. And I'm basing it on all the stuff I've read from Anna. Mike Morrison shot this Harley Davidson Softail in a garage with overhead lights, with the overhead lights off, using the following: Godox flash, newer softbox, another softbox on the left, white board reflecting, small LED on the floor. Mike's starting to learn. Let's go. Shot with the Sony A7R5 with a 24-70 on a tripod. 24 millimeter, 10 second exposure, f11 at ISO 100. This is Mike Morrison, who shoots automotive. Mike, this is a great shot. I like the way that you stretch this bike across 2 pages, and like where you dropped the gutter, this is actually kind of the only way that you can do it. You know, this is a clever shot. The bike's on a lift, so it's obviously in a gym. Or in a, what's it called? In a garage. Obviously with the handlebars, trying to get these handlebars like to come in and get a good distance here and a good distance here, and yet not cut the gutter. Like, the way that you compose, I agree with your composition. And I think it's incredibly well executed. You just have to watch your tail here, your little stand here, your mirror here. Like when you shoot horizontal, there's no crop, right? When you shoot horizontal, 2 pages in a magazine is it exactly. It's a 2:3 proportion, which is why when I overlay this is an uncropped photo. So you don't have room to mess around. Like what you shoot is exactly the picture with horizontal. So Mike, just give yourself just a little bit more space. That's all I'm asking for. Just give yourself a little bit more space. Don't be so claustrophobic here on the edges, and keep swinging for the fences. I would love to have seen this. You shot it top down. I would have loved to have also seen it shot like straight at it. What did the rest of the garage look like? What would the garage look like with top down light when you're shooting the other way, like shooting at it but top down light? The rest of the garage is going to get black. Like, there's just other angles that I want to see. I'm curious what you shot, what else you shot besides this one idea. That was Mike Morrison, everybody. It's a great shot, Mike. Thanks for submitting. Good shit. Lots of good effort into this, Mike. Good effort with the light. I'm going to give you an 11 for this one. Mike is niched. He shoots automotive. We are looking now at Monica Petrosky. Monica says, it wasn't easy for me to research and assemble my portable flash setup with only YouTube for guidance. But I was determined to reshoot my previous fail, which I learned a lot. I'm so stoked that this works to dim the foreground light with the sun behind. Ta-da! So good. Doesn't it feel good when you like level up, Map Girl? Doesn't it feel good, Monica, when like something clicks for you and you're like, oh my God. And for me, when you associate it with me, because I challenge you and my standards are high and I want to help you make your standards higher as well, it's good. And you figured some shit out. And now you can actually do all the backlighting you desire, because now you know how to do it properly. And this is a great feeling. It must be. Good shit. Okay, let's look at this. So as you were focusing so much on managing getting the strobe to be working beautifully and your exposure and all that. The one thing that we lost is you went back to composing on the thirds. She is on a third. There is another third. Here is another third. And here is another third. So you are trying to do quote unquote textbook composition. But I've said over and over and over again, this doesn't work for horizontal photographs. It doesn't work for magazine editorial, because if I delete this and drop in the overlay, you can see now the spacing to the gutter is right there. And the spacing to the outside is so vast. Why is she hugging the gutter? Well, because she's on the thirds. But that doesn't make sense for a double page spread, because you actually have to cut your picture in half and then in half again. Like once you cut your picture in half, you cut it in half again and you drop your subject on that axis, or you drop your subject on this axis. So you're not actually cutting your picture in thirds, you're cutting it in fourths. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, put her on that line. And had you put her on that line, well, then, she would have been centered perfectly between, on one half of one page. So small things, Map Girl. But now that you've nailed using light outside and well exposed, the exposure is what I would call perfect, although it is bright by like 1/10 of a stop, maybe 2/10 of a stop. It's how you drop. This is how I expose my stuff. It has to feel bright more so than dark and muddy. So exposure, perfect. Like the idea, perfect. But a little extra headspace, but cutting off her hands. So like her hands communicate so much. And there's nothing that's important that's up here that's worth keeping. So now you need to go back here and reshoot this woman and pull back a little bit and frame her within, again, watch this episode over and over and over and over again. Look at this layout. It is your camera horizontal. You need to draw a line down the center and then put your subject in the center between that and that, or between this and this. Once you start nailing where your subject drops here in this context, now magazines can hire you. Now magazines can hire you. This is why Sean Thomas is shooting double page spreads, and why Alpha Monk, Rob Wilson Jr. shooting double page spreads and shot his first cover and all that stuff. It's all because he has an understanding as to this stuff that I'm meticulously showing you right now. If you don't understand it, it's just going to go over top of your head and you just won't ever see your pictures in magazines. You just won't ever. Map Girl, this is a great, great, great effort. You leveled up. So I'm giving you an 11 out of 10 for this incredible level up. The next one, now you have to take every single thing that you've learned up to this point, and now also, when you're actually shooting, please get this shooting on the thirds business out of your head, because it doesn't work. Cool? Hope that helps. All right. On to the next. We've been going for 2 hours, people. 2 hours. Wow. 2 hours. Who's new? Anybody here new that's never seen me before? Hey, big brother. Good to see you, my guy. My actual brother is in chat. This is Stuart Fleck. Let's see how many more I have. Oh, we're almost at the end, so we can just finish. How about that? This is Stuart Fleck. Horizontal artificial light, Canon 70D, 85mm 1.8, shot at 2.8, ISO 1200. Ding, 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 ding. Red flag, ISO 1200. That's too high an ISO for shooting artificial light. Cool. A 60th of a second. And I'm trying to figure out what's the light, and on sticks, on tripod. So this is Fleck, Stewart. I see 2 lights. Here's a secret. There's only one sun. And by the way, thank you for submitting, Stewart. Thank you. Composed perfectly. As far as a double page spread, look at Stewart's discipline. Look at the discipline here. That side, this side, good head distance, good distance here. You're dropping the eye line on the thirds that way, which yes, you do. Yo, Jeffrey Charles, thanks for subscribing, my guy. Appreciate you. Welcome, Jeffrey. So yes, on the composition. Lighting wise, the double catch lights in the eyes are super distracting. Like I see a light here and a light here, a light here and a light here. So when you're lighting this face, like this is what you're doing. If this is the background and this is her, you're taking a light and putting it here, and you're taking a light and putting it here. So this light and this light basically counter each other and cancel each other out. And you actually get no modeling, no lighting whatsoever, because you're lighting, like you're canceling light out. Number one, there's only one sun. So don't use 2 lights, 1, 2 from the front. Use only ever 1 light. You will never see me light with more than 1 light from the front, ever. And then if you're doing this, which that is canceling out that and giving you even light, guess what? You just do this and light from the front and light that way. And now how you do it, let me show you a different diagram. If this is her head, let me do it lower. If this is her head and this is your camera position aiming that way, instead, like you light, like not with the light going that way, you light with the light coming down that way. And then what it does is it shapes her face here. Your wife has your wife's face is wider. So how you make a wider face look narrow is using butterfly lighting. Butterfly lighting comes from the front. And what it does is it hollows the cheeks. Please watch the video that I made. It's called 2 Flattering Ways to Light with 1 Light. One is Rembrandt lighting, one is butterfly lighting. It's a 12-minute video. It's on my Making Pictures playlist. It goes way back. Teach you how to use a light meter, teach you how to take a light meter reading, and teach you how to do butterfly lighting and Rembrandt lighting and why to do either. And also why you don't light with 2 lights from the front. So, Stuart, that is the vibe, is that you're trying to now light, like you're trying to bring your light from camera position behind you. So that now lights her. The shadow, rather than the shadow hitting her cheeks, which you're emphasizing this because you're doing side light, the shadow comes underneath her nose. And there's shadows here, which makes her face look narrower. And there's a shadow under her chin, which makes it look like she has like a more defined chin. So how we light faces is incredibly important. Yes, you did kill the assignment. Artificial light, horizontal, check. But how you're placing your light cannot be the way that you're doing it. Please, I have 2 videos on my playlist with artificial light that break it down so simply. Please watch those. I hope those bring you value. Let's go. My brother says he's rocking the Carty Crew shirt today. I have a new merch store. That merch is super simple. It's right there, probably like right there beside my window. If you're watching on YouTube, I finally have my merch showing. I have a new creative collection. Super high quality fitteds and all kinds of other stuff, buckets and tees and all that stuff. So pick up something. This is Taylor Valentine Escape Pod, Nikon Z6 Mark II, 16mm 1.8, shot at f5, 3-second exposure, ISO 400. Continuous lighting by a 1000 lumen LED bank. This is Taylor Valentine. Taylor, thank you for submitting. Yes is my answer right away. Yes. This is a yes on so many fronts. This is a yes. The lines, the discipline, the incredibly yellow light on the inside. It's almost like that indoor light is almost too bright to the point that you're losing a little bit of the wood detail in here. What I'd love you to do is do something so you can bring the exposure in here, like just a little bit lower. If you ever get the opportunity to do this again, I would half the power of the light in here. Lower this by half so I actually see the detail and it doesn't just look like you've done it in post. Because when you look here, you can actually see the wood that's in there. You can see the wood on the ceiling. You can see like the stuff in there, but the exposure's too hot based on how long, like if that's an LED and not strobe and you're shooting in order to get the light out here, if you're shooting out here at 2 seconds, so what you need to do is just half the exposure in here. So during that 2 seconds, it doesn't get too bright in here. That's basically how you do it. So you just basically need to half the power in here based on the exposure that you're doing out here. This is some advanced light now. Now you're starting to get to the point where you're doing advanced stuff, which is great. And it's also an ad. Like, look at the bag. Look at it's a lifestyle picture. It's like, this is actually a double entendre. It is a space. It is a execution of an assignment, but it is also a portfolio picture. And it creates mystery, it creates curiosity, and it's definitely something that for me gets an 11. This is a banger. Great shot. Great shot, great location. And the time of day, because it's twilight, it gives us enough detail to see what's happening in the background. Like, this just works. It works. Great shot. All right. We are down to our last few people. Our next one is Marvin Milla. Marvin's a new shooter with us. I just banged my microphone against my grill. Did you see that? Marvin, 50 millimeter ISO 200, shot at 200th of a second at 2.8. This is Marvin Miller, new to the crew. Marvin, thanks for submitting. You know, Marvin, I've seen a lot of your work in the last little bit. This one, we got to make sure that it's 4,000 pixels. The first thing is the size is not 4,000 pixels. You can see by the way that it goes like this and is blah, 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 and I can't click on it. It won't get any bigger. Next thing is it's out of focus. When you're shooting these kinds of pictures, we need to be getting, where we look is between the color, the white and the color of the eye. That's where we're focusing. And if it's this picture where this eye is close, this is the close eye, this is the far eye. This is the eye that we have to have tack sharp, this eye. The fact that both of these eyes are soft, it's like when you're a newer photographer and you're trying to shoot artificial light when you're trying to light, like it's tricky, man. This is under by a third of a stop. Obviously we're starting to lose detail. I need to see his other arm. We're losing a little bit of this hand. Seeing it as a double page spread, it fits as a double page spread, although the sizing isn't right, but it fits. It's just let me just enlarge this just a little bit, see if we can make this. It's kind of tricky. It's so tricky, dude. It's like, it's so much easier to just make these pictures the right size for me, because I can't enlarge, I can't zoom in, I can't do anything. So Marvin, for me, the out of focus, if we get a picture that's out of focus, it's a no. Simple. It's a no. It's a no. It doesn't, like, you don't massage it, you don't look at it longer than to say out of focus. Next, let's look at what is in focus in this picture. What is in focus is this thing down here that says the answer, or whatever that is. So this is where your camera grabbed here, not the cigar, not him, not his eye. So it's like, if that's the sharpest thing in the frame, that's the only thing my eye's going to go to, which is that little bit of text down here. And this is not important. So this is where we need to focus. And also, you want to move the needle, have your subjects look at the camera. Him looking at the cigar, like these, like it all is like, especially when you're just shooting someone who's like, yo, man, take my picture. Like all of this, if you don't completely control it, you're just feeding other people's egos, dude. Honestly, like you're just, whenever you're shooting photos of somebody, if you're not completely controlling what you're shooting, it's just feeding the other person. The guy's all like posy and doing like, it becomes like you're just like literally massaging his shoulders for an hour that you can't use it because it's all about him. You know what I mean? So, somebody copped Carty Crew black square patch. What an ugly alert. This is so ugly. I got to definitely fix that. I got to definitely fix that. But who bought that patch? Thank you, by the way, whoever copped that patch. Appreciate you. So yeah, the alerts do go off. We do see them, but we got to get better. Like, that's so ugly. Why are you making it so ugly, man? I got to fix that. All right, I'm working on that tonight. Marvin, focus. That's the one thing, bro. If a picture's out of focus, it's out of focus. Let it go. Go on to the next one. And that's why we shoot so many frames. So you don't go into a scene shooting at 1 picture, 2 pictures, 3 pictures. I shoot 100 frames. So I have not just in focus, but I like exact execution of the exact thing that I'm trying to say. Like I have it, and I have 100 other pictures to choose from that are all around that same scene. So shoot lots of frames. Make sure that you nail the sizing, meaning don't just export your picture and send it to me. Export your picture at 4,000 pixels wide, like we requested. None of your pictures are going to be exported that way, which means you need to re-export them, rework them, and send them to me. My standards are higher, so you have to make sure that your standards are higher as well. All right, that is Marvin submitting. And our last photographer of the day was our first submitter. So he gets a little bonus points for being first. We're also going to award photos of the week. And I am also going to give you an assignment. This week's assignment is big. Make sure you hang out. All right, this is Juan Herrera, and Juan is now recently in my Pro Accelerator. Juan, welcome. Thank you for submitting. Here's Juan Herrera. Let's look at this as a double. Juan, this is a beautiful photograph. It's captivating. It's a beautiful subject. You're composing on the thirds. And again, you probably knew this already because you've heard me say this about 19 times today, like I told you that I would end up having to do. This is composed on the thirds. That's a third. That's a third. So you're following the rule of thirds for composition, so much so that I can literally draw maps on what you're doing with your composition. Again, I've just done this. So we're going to do it a lot faster. It doesn't work with a double page spread. You can see how she is way too close to the edge of the gutter. She's way too close, and there's no way that this photo can work as a double page spread. And look at all the wasted space that you're using over here. Yes or yes? So, Juan, this will be the last time I'll have to tell you, because now you're going to lock it in. And I hope for everyone else who's watching, like, I give you horizontal like assignments because to break a bad habit, to break your bad habit, the bad habit of composing on the thirds, and the even worse habit of dropping your subject dead center on a horizontal picture. So those are the two things I'm trying to break. One, this is a wicked picture. Great focus, great model, great interest, great light. I mean, I want more from you. It's interesting. Like the great eye contact. Like it's just the framing. It's just the framing. You just need to move her. And again, watch this. All I'm going to do is just punch in just a little bit closer and just move her over just like this. And look at how much easier that is to look at. And when I do this, look at how that works. So that's all I'm trying to get you to do is think in double page spreads. You even put her on the right side of the frame. You even put her on the right side. It's just don't compose on the thirds. One, I hope that helps you. This is a great shot. I'm giving it an 11. But I pointed out a very, very valid mistake that you need to fix today. All right, guys, I am going to the laboratory to find my photos of the week.
Treat everybody like a superstar. Famous people less like a superstar. I treat famous people like real people. I started as a photographer, I would say professionally, when I was 20. My brother's a fine art painter, heavy influence on me, and I couldn't paint, so when I discovered the camera, it was really easy for me to express myself creatively. Everybody's in the business of glorifying celebrities, so capturing them, it's already glorifying them by photographing them. So if I can get them a little bit more understated, I feel like it brings up the real. In 1997, I shot Tom York from Radiohead, most important picture of my career. In 2001, I shot Pharrell Williams for Peace magazine. Again, very important picture. Colin Firth, a week before he won his Oscar, career moving pictures where that picture propels a whole new wave of clients, a whole new wave of people looking at my work. I think pivotal career-changing pictures are more important than favorite pictures, because they're all my favorite. The whole idea is make good stuff and share it and do it every day.
Of course, Amazon wants to come and bother me in the middle of my podcast and like knock on my door. I didn't say knock on my door. I said leave this shit on the back porch. I'm not trying to be friends. All right. We are looking at our photos of the week. Very good submissions this week, guys. And because there was great submissions, I judge accordingly. And the hardest thing that I have to do is actually what I'm doing right now, which is choose photos of the week. I find this incredibly difficult because the way that I judge photos of the week is I'm judging you against you. If you leveled up, you win the prize. Simple. If you've leveled up, you win the prize. That is it. And you're being judged not against any of the other photographers that are here. You're being judged only against you. Only against you. You're the only one I care about. Like, I'm judging you against you. If you shot something better this week, if you progressed this week, if you heard something I said last week, implemented it into your work this week, these are the moves that get you photos of the week. Oh, fuck, that's hard, bro. Hard. Yeah, I mean, Jesus. Got some photos of the week, guys. Like some good ones. All right, here we go. In no particular order, here are your photos of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, your first photo of the week goes to the one they call Kyle G, also known as Kyle Gagne. Photo of the week, Kyle. Congratulations. It's like you're collecting these. Congratulations. Photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Garin Wrath. Garin. Welcome to the Photo of the Week Club, Garin. Congratulations. Photo of the week for horizontal artificial light. Sickety sick, sick, sick. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Dana MK. Dana MK, let's go. Photo of the week. Great, great location. Please all these tips and critiques that I've given you, take them to heart, not personally. Know that with these small tweaks that I'm giving you, your photography is just going to leap and bound ahead. So stay the course. Stay the course. Our next, very proud of this photographer. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Mike Steinmatz's photo of the week. Congratulations, Mike. Photo of the week. Great shot. Mikey Steinmatz. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Colin Blair, also known as Colin from, you have a very specific photography name, but Colin, I know this is you, Colin. This is your photo of the week. Very well done. Colin Blair. All right. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Romeo Fowler. Romeo starting to collect some photos of the week. Well done, Romeo. Congratulations. Romeo Fowler. Let's go. Romeo. Okay, buddy. Good for you. This next shooter, it's about time. It's about time. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Marcus Mack. It's about time, Marcus. It's about time, Marcus. Let's go with a photo of his sister. Let's go, Marcus. Congratulations, photo of the week. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week. Goes to the one they call Joshua Haney. Joshua, congratulations with this photo of the week. Congratulations, Joshua. Very, very, very well done. Very well done, Joshua. Got a lot of these. Now, I was so hard on this photographer that I think I neglected to praise this photographer. Okay? If you do the one thing that I told you to do today, you will be unstoppable. One thing. Change this one thing to this other thing that I said as your subject matter, and watch your public perception raise through the roof. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody who I've been coaching only through my photo reviews, only once a week through my photo reviews, has pushed their photography this far. Ladies and gentlemen, our next photo of the week goes to Miss Jennifer. Let's go. Miss Jennifer, you are proving to me that you have the skills to be an exceptional product photographer. Stop shooting bullshit products. Start shooting luxury products so your portfolio can actually sing. Miss Jennifer. Our next photographer and photo of the week winner goes to Mats Carlson. First photo of the week for Mats. Let's go. Congratulations, Mats. Very well done. Beautiful photograph. Tell your son that he is a fantastic painter. If you're watching right now, I love your work. My brother is also a painter. He's my greatest inspiration. He's in chat right now as Opal Customs. And tell him that you just won photo of the week. Congratulations. This is a photo of the week winner. Next, this photographer, another one I yelled at, but it doesn't matter. I yelled at him, but only because it's just such a silly mistake. So I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And I explain it in such a way that like maybe makes him feel a little silly. Guess what? Never will he forget again. Never, ever. So, ladies and gentlemen, your next photo of the week goes to they call him Joseph Baldwin. Photo of the week. Let's go. Congratulations. Your exposure, the attitude, the smile, the focus, the composition, like it's just backwards. That's all. This is backwards. It's such a strong shot. It's just shot the wrong way. That's all. Great shot, Joseph. It's Joseph Baldwin. Ooh, I need to check who this photographer is. Just, so I don't mess up. Look at all the photos I did today. Okay, good. Our next photographer, and our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Taylor Valentine. Taylor, congratulations. Photo of the week, buddy. Let's go. Well done. Great shot. Great shot. Great shot. Congratulations. Photo of the week. And we have one last photo of the week before I award Best in Show today. Our last photo of the week, our very, very last photo of the week was actually our first, our last photo of the week was the last photo submitted. How about that? This is the one they call Juan Herrera. Let's go, Juan Herrera, baby. Photo of the week. First photo of the week. Congratulations. Please stop composing on the thirds. Please lock this in today. Screenshot this. Lock in this gutter. Please fix this, and you will be shooting magazine editorial in no time. I'm so glad, Juan, that you are in my accelerator. We got you on a fast track to making real dollars with your camera, my friend. And now I give the photo that I think is the overall best of the day. Like this is basically the overall, what I will call the best photo submitted today. And this I call Best in Show. This is incredibly difficult. It's based on so many things. It's based on like past work. It's based on how much of a leap from their last session to this session. Ooh, I just found another one. Okay, it's all about the leap from last session to this session. I have three. I got to pick one more. I got three Best in Shows. And in no particular order, these are by far. Hey, yo. Somebody bought a creative square patch and one other item, and it doesn't even tell me who. And look at this ugly alert, dude. I got to get better alerts. Whoever just bought some stuff from the merch store, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. For copping that merch. I appreciate it. I hope it was seamless. Okay, let's get into it. This is your Best in Show, people. Best in Show number 1 goes to Colin Blair from Arresting Photos. Best in Show. Congratulations. Just a perfect photo. It's perfect. Colin, congratulations. It's amazing. Our next Best in Show. And again, by the way, guys, there is a very, very, very fun assignment that I'm going to get you to do. But you got to wait to the end. I'm going to give you the assignment right now. There's 2 more Best in Shows. Our next Best in Show, people. Our next Best in Show goes to the one they call Garin. First Best in Show, baby. Let's go. Congratulations. Best in Show. Let's go. Grand Wrath. And our last photographer. The last Best in Show. I am so proud of this shooter. I almost want to cry. Honestly, I'm so proud of this photographer. I almost want to cry. Ladies and gentlemen, the last Best in Show and his first ever Best in Show, Mike Steinmetz. Let's go, Mike. Congratulations.
Let's go.
Mike with his first Best in Show. Congratulations, Mike. Guys, that was today's photos. And what an episode it was. Again, I do this every Thursday. It's called Real Photo Reviews. I dive deep, but I also have an assignment. I got a very specific assignment for you this week. It's going to help you do a couple of different things, and it's going to help me. What I need you to do is be on camera again. I, every once in a while, require you to talk to camera because it's a muscle that I'm trying to loosen. I'm trying to limber it up because I'm on camera like literally every day. I'm on camera every day, and I'm on camera publicly like 4 times a week. So it's an essential skill. Being able to talk about your work, being able to talk about transformations, being able to talk to strangers. Being on camera is such an essential skill. I even have a 30-day on-camera challenge that I invented that so many people have gone through and have actually like completely got way better. They were super nervous about being on camera. Now they did my 30-day challenge and now they're making YouTube videos. So I got better at it. You can get better at it. This is your challenge. I have an app that I pay for. It's called Senja, and I collect testimonials. I collect video testimonials as well as written testimonials. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to make a 1-minute video. Now, the 1-minute video that I need you to make is going to be incredibly specific. And by the way, you can do this whether you're a part of my photo submission level or not. People who are part of my photo submission level, I'm going to be reviewing these videos and I'm going to be playing them on the air. This is what I need you to say. I need you to tell me, number one, the top piece of value that you've got from watching my channel. That's it. Like the top. So it's super simple. Introduce yourself. Tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you shoot, what your niche is. Tell me what brought you to photography. Next thing, tell me how you found me, and tell me what is the most important piece of value that you've learned from me since you started watching my channel, and how are you implementing that on your daily life? If you want to have a call to action at the end, make it whatever you want. Watch Carty on YouTube. Subscribe to my newsletter, meaning yours. If you want, like, whatever you want the call to action to be, do that at the end. So what I need you to do, start it by saying who you are. Tell people what they're going to learn in this video. Then share how you found me. Share the piece of value that you've learned from me that has changed your life, if any. Talk about the transformation. Talk about after, like what it's like now and maybe what it was like before you met me. And then have a call to action. The call to action could be subscribe to my YouTube. It can be whatever you want that call to action is. First of all, I'm going to give you a link so you can make this as a testimonial for me, but also it's an exercise for you so you can actually be on camera, learn inflection, learn poses, how to use hand gestures, how to pause, how to get close to the camera, when to move back, when to get right in there, like how to move in for emphasis, like how to record a video of yourself. Like you're learning so many skills within this thing. I'm going to post this assignment. Give me a few minutes. I've been going for 3 hours. Give me a few minutes. I'll post it in here. It'll be in the assignment folder within the next half an hour. And that's it. I'll send you a link. I'll tell you exactly how to post it to my testimonials. Or if you don't want to post it to testimonials, you just want to put it on YouTube and send me the link, you can do that as well. You know what I mean? I'm going to make this super easy. I'm going to put specific instructions. And as well, if you want to do a bonus, because this is a photo review show, if you want to include a self-portrait, a new self-portrait that you've shot that fits all of our formats, I don't care whether it's horizontal or vertical, shoot whatever you like. But yeah, include a self-portrait of you, because I might use this testimonial to help me sell what it is that I'm doing here. And every once in a while, I think it's important for you to be on camera. I've asked for my viewers to do this before, and like I get like I almost cry during Steve Boudreau asked, is 1 minute the limit or is there a range? Personally, Steve, I would want it to be, I think 2 minutes is like nice and tight. 2 minutes, less than 3 minutes, I would say, just because of attention span, especially with people who are new on camera, trying to get someone to go for longer than, but again, I don't want it to be 20 seconds, but it can't be 5 minutes. It's got to be like nice and like, you know what I mean? So it's easy to put into my system. If that helps you, Steve, I'm going to say between 1 and 3 minutes, no more than 3. That should be absolutely plenty. Oh, I'm so glad, Captain Redbeard, that you've been watching me for a week and you finally caught me live. I'm glad. Dude, I'm a real person, you know? You just catch me. Guys, what a show. Holy crowley. You guys are incredibly talented, man. Like how far you've come since like some of you have first started submitting. The last thing I want to touch on is this is your niche. This right here, this creative core. This is the thing that you have to find. That thing that fuels you. That thing that you're obsessed about. For me, I'm a people photographer. So I'm obsessed about people photography. I look at people photography all day long. Like, and I share the best to my stories and blah, blah, blah. Like that's my creative core. So when you have your creative core, you can apply that to all kind, like I shoot actors and celebrities and directors and models and musicians and like, and it's all just people because I'm obsessed. Like my creative core is taking pictures of people. But my creative core is a core that there's a demand for. There's a demand for my creative core. If you have a creative core that there's no demand for, like no one needs it. You know what I mean? So all you need to do is align this, your creative core. This like lives like in here, in your chest. You need to align this with the industry and them needing like fashion photography, musicians, CD covers. Like I don't think live photography, I think CD covers and music magazines. You know, like there's music promo. I think music videos. There's so many different, like whatever it is that you love, like attach your creative core to it. Love fashion? Attach your creative core to it and carve out a way that you can be within the fashion industry using your photography. You know, you love cars. Smash your love for cars with your creative core. Be a car photographer. You love cars. Like you're going to be so passionate about car photography because you would shoot cars even if you weren't getting paid for it. Imagine how sick it would be to get paid for shooting something that you're shooting McLarens and Maseratis and Ferraris and stuff like that. You know? So, and also there's all kinds of brands that make cars that have money and parts companies and like there's so much adjacent car stuff. Like people set up their businesses along the shores of those certain niches. Wedding photography. Like weddings is such an industry. There's planners, there's like coordinators, there's spaces, there's photographers, videographers, DJs. Like there's a whole industry that sets up along the shores of people getting married. So you need to set up where there's a niche already, like shooting photos that you care about. Nobody cares about them, just you, unless you're executing ideas. As soon as you learn how to execute ideas for yourself, you can start executing ideas for other people. And that's when you really get a business. Guys, I hope today brought you value. I'll be back on Sunday with another episode. You have an assignment. You're going to make a video for yourself and me, and you're going to start unlocking your comfort level with being on video. I don't care what you look like. I do not care what you look like. It doesn't matter what you look like. What you do need to do is get comfortable talking to strangers, because when you're closing deals, if you're not closing deals on Zoom, if you're on the telephone, or if you're emailing people, that's why you're not closing. I close every deal because people see my face. They see my enthusiasm for their project and they book me, because FaceTime with people creates trust. If you're not used to FaceTime with people, how are you going to close? And how you get used to it is by sitting in your room, holding your phone up in front of your grill and talking to your telephone. Like, hi, I'm Steve. I'm good. Today we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. Like, get used to it. I'm telling you, that's why you know Peter McKinnon. It's why you know Steve Carty, because video, sadly, has killed the photography-only star. That is your assignment. I'll be looking at them next Thursday. 1 to 3 minute videos. The sweet spot is about 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. I just want you to talk about the transformation that I've helped you discover and what you've done since you've started watching my content. You can also bonus marks for sharing this content to some other poor, sad photographer that's hacking at it that could be doing so much better with the right information. Bonus marks for using the scissor tool and making clips and sharing clips of my content to your network. Here's a challenge. If I reviewed a photo of yours today, make a clip using the scissor tool and post to your social network saying, hey, this amazing photographer just reviewed my photo. Here's my photo review, like Joshua Haney and so many other people do. You can see those reviews clips at the bottom of my page. Please consider popping up some merch. The merch is fly as F. New collection every month. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, by the way, if you subscribed, you'll see your name scrolling across the bottom. The last 25 of you, I typed your names in. And if you are a member and became a member or got gifted a membership today, like all the people that got gifted, thank you, by the way, if you gifted a membership today, you'll see your name across the top. I love you so very much. Thank you for supporting the Carty method and this channel.